Welcome back to Decked Out.
On today's episode, we are joined by Beezy and Mia for a $50 budget game.
As always, thank you to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Moxfield, and Ultimate Guard. And today's episode sponsor, the Reign of the Onyx King Kickstarter. But more on all of them later in the video.
That's enough from us for now. Let's go ahead and meet the players.
Hi, I'm Mia, and I'm one half of the Nitpicking Nerds. We make Commander videos like every day, pretty much. And today I am playing Yarok the Desecrated. Basically, he's gonna come down and I'm gonna get double ETB triggers from all of my permanents. So I have a lot of creatures in here that like to take the initiative, and I like to go through dungeons.
I'm Beezy, the much taller half of the Nitpicking Nerds. Today I'm playing Ghalta, Primal Hunger. I am going to be sneaking and smuggling as much secret power onto the battlefield through vehicles, lands, and even just creatures to reduce my commander's power. Then I'm going to do a bunch of stuff based on that power, and Ghalta has 12 power, so I'm going to be drawing like 12 cards. They're giving my creatures plus 12, and I'm going to win.
When you're on a budget, everyone loves a buy one, get one sale. And my commander this game, Garrison Starn, is actually a buy one, get two type of deal. All of the cards in my deck that deal 1 damage to anything else are actually going to deal 3 instead. So all of the little cards in my deck that don't do all that much on their own go that much further. We're mixing effects like Young Pyromancer, Third Path Iconoclast, and effects like Kessig Flamebreather to drain out the table and go super wide, and hopefully my opponents are dead before they even knew what hit them.
Hello everybody, I'm MTGNerdGirl, and today I'm going to be playing Depala Pilot Exemplar. My deck is all based around having dwarves and vehicles, the two things Depala really wants to do. And I'm going to put those dwarves in the vehicles and run my opponents over. Today's episode sponsor is the Reign of the Onyx King Kickstarter.
So it's a card game where you choose a character card to represent you while you battle it out in a multiplayer game with wild card interactions. But it's super simple to set up, and it's got about a 30+ minute game time. That's totally different from Commander.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be interested in that. This fantasy card game captures the spark of all of your favorite TCGs. It supports 2 to 4 players, and you can play free-for-all, or you can play 1v-many in the Tyrant mode.
Choose one of many unique heroes that level up and customize even more as you play the game, but all players play from a shared deck to make setup super easy.
Reign of the Onyx King is a standalone expansion, so you do not need anything else to start playing. However, available in this Kickstarter, you can also pick up the base game, Hero Tales of the Tome.
And we got to learn how to play this game with the designer himself, Jimmy, and it was a great time. It gave me all the same warm and fuzzy feelings from playing Commander, but was super refreshing, and we are happy to be supporting a game like this.
And you can support it too by heading on over to the link in our description to back the Kickstarter for yourself. There's tiers as low as $35, or you can pick up both the expansion and the base game for $69.
All right, well, it's time to play some Magic the Gathering. Let's get into the game.
Welcome to the table. Let's see who goes first.
18?
3.
18?
Oh, come on.
Off.
Go, Beezy, go.
The stakes are low for me.
Dang
13.
All right, I can live with that.
Let's draw. And here's a mountain and pass.
I'm going to draw. I will play a Innistrad Forest, and one of my favorite ways to ramp, Utopia Sprawl. I can enchant a forest, choose a color, I'm going to choose green, and now the forest taps for an additional green when I tap it. Go ahead.
Plains, pass.
Drawing for turn, Forest, pass.
Definitely feels like a budget game. Here's Island, and we're going to play Third Path Iconoclast. It's a 2/1 human monk, and whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I get to make a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. Pass.
I'm going to go ahead and play another forest, and I'm going to play an Elvish Rejuvenator. What this does is, when it enters, I look at the top 5 cards in my library, put a land from among those into play tapped, and the rest go on the bottom. I'm going to actually grab this Mobilized District, which can turn into a creature if I pay enough mana. And then I'm going to pass.
All right, I'm gonna play a mountain for turn, and I'll pay 2 for an Aether Geode Miner. A 3/1 Dwarf Scout that says whenever it attacks, I get 2 energy. I can also pay 2 energy to exile it and return it to the battlefield under my control. I'll pass.
I am going to play a Swamp, and I'll tap 2 for Elvish Visionary. When it enters the battlefield, I'll draw a card, and then I'll pass.
I'm going to play this Castle Vantress, which eventually I can pump mana into to scry. And then we'll pay 3 to bring up my commander, Garrison Starn Kellerbor. 3/2 Ward 2, and whenever anything I control deals 1 damage, exactly 1 damage to a permanent or player, this guy's going to deal 2 to it instead. Well, in addition. And I don't want to send my 2/1 into any of your things, so we'll pass.
I'm going to tap 2 mana for a Reclusive Taxidermist, which is a mana dark that can be pumped if I have 4 more creatures in my graveyard. I'll get +3/+2 in that instance. And I will also tap 3 for a Galanra. She's another mana dark. She taps for green, and when I spend this mana to cast a spell that costs 6 or more, I get to draw a card. I have a lot of choices about which 3-drop setup cards to play in my hand, so I'm trying to prioritize the ones that tap for mana so that I can get a bunch of power out of the board like all at one turn. I think after that, I'm just gonna chill. I'll pass to NerdGirl.
All right, I'm gonna play a Clifftop Retreat for land for turn, and I'm gonna just follow Airball's lead and also play my commander, TOA Pilot Exemplar. She's a 3/3 that gives other dwarves and vehicles +1/+1. She also says when she becomes tapped, I can pay X mana and reveal the top X cards of my library, and I get to put dwarves and vehicles that are revealed this way into my hand and the rest onto the bottom in a random order. And I'm here to do some damage, so Geode Miner is coming at me because I have a nice clean attack for 4.
4, huh?
Dwarves get +1/+1. And on attack, I will get 2 energy.
I will take 4.
Great. Pass the turn.
I'll play Sunken Hollow as land for turn. And I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play Aether Channeler. I am going to bounce to Paula. I will send 1 right back at NerdGirl,
Revenge.
Ouch.
and I will pass.
All right, so we'll play this Fiery Islet as land for turn, and we're gonna paint ourselves for 1 to play Kessig Flame Breather. Whenever I cast a non-creature spell, deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Is 1 in quotations?
It's in massive quotation
Okay.
marks.
1's a strong number.
It's one of those invisible ink cards from
Yeah,
Parallel Matter.
it is.
You just can't see it. And then 2 more for Tilanali's Summoner. It's a 1/1 with Ascend. I don't have 10 permanents yet, but getting close. And then whenever it attacks, I can pay X and a red, and if I do, I make X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, and they go away at my end step if I haven't ascended yet. And that's the turn.
Honestly, I'm most scared of Airball.
I'm pretty scared.
He's got a lot of setup. I'm gonna untap and draw. Okay, I'm gonna play a forest. I think I'm gonna do some more setting up myself. I'm gonna tap 3 for a Mighty Servant of Luco as a 6/6 vehicle with trample, ward, discard a card, and crew 4. And it also has 87 other lines of text that say, whenever it becomes crewed for the first time, if exactly 2 creatures crewed it, it gains the ability, quote, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards, end quote, until end of turn.
Wait a minute.
Can't make that any more clear.
That's my card.
No, it's actually mine.
It's in the green sleeve.
See how it's in the, yeah, exactly. I will tap 3 for an Owlbear Shepherd at the beginning of end step. If my creatures total 8 or more power, I get to draw a card. There's something I could do. I could tap all my creatures to crew the Servant and draw a card, but then I would have 0.0 blockers for whatever this is over
Cards,
here. Yeah.
cards, 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 cards.
You heard the man.
I think I will be very patient, even though I have 1 card in my hand, and I will pass my turn.
I'm gonna play a Plains for turn, and I'm just gonna run back my commander. No commander attacks here. Depala hits the battlefield again. And, yeah. Airball, I'm scared of you. I have 4 damage for you. And I will get an additional 2 energy on attack.
See, like I could throw any of these 1-power creatures in front of it.
I am
and,
fine with
and
all of
ping
that.
something, but I don't want to throw these away yet. I will take it.
Great.
4?
Yep. Pass the turn.
I will play Woodland Cemetery. I think I'm going to pay 4, and I'm going to play Panharmonicon, because everyone seems to be in the setup phase. If an
This is a
artifact,
budget deck?
yeah, it just got reprinted in Fallout. If an artifact or creature ETBing causes a triggered ability of a permanent I control trigger, it triggers an additional time.
Is that your whole budget?
No, it's like $5.
Oh, wow. I thought that thing was like 15.
Nah,
I
I
think the
get
Fallout really helps.
Fallout plummeted it.
All right.
Pass.
Attacking with a bunch of 1/1s puts Mia in a bind. Most of her creatures have 1 toughness, so she doesn't really want to block with them and trade them off, but if she lets them through, she's going to take 9 to the dome. So it's a really tough spot for her. Let's go straight to combat, and I'm going to go ahead and just attack with Tilanali's Summoner, and I'm going to pay 3 for X into its ability. We'll make 3 1/1 tokens that are tapped and attacking, and I will ascend when that happens. So there will be 3 of these And all of those will be coming at Mia, who has 1 toughness creatures. And because I tapped the Fiery Islet, I will take 1 damage.
I am going to block your summoner with my Elvish Visionary. I think I have to just get some stuff off the board. I'll block an elemental with my channeler, and I will take 2. But it will really be 6, right?
It will really be 6, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll lose an elemental and I'll lose the summoner.
I will lose Visionary and the channeler and take 6.
Post-combat, I'll play an Is It Boilerworks as my land for turn, and I'll bounce this island to my hand, and I'll pass.
Okay. I'll play another forest for turn. I'm going to use Galanra to create a green mana, and I'm going to spend an extra 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 7 total, and I will cast a Tree Shaker Chimera. Now this will trigger Galanra for me to draw a card, since it costs more than 6. And this is an 8/5 that says all creatures able to block it do so, and when it dies, I draw 3 cards. But it's going to get inside this car. It's going to, alongside the Quincy Harker crew, the Mighty Servant of Luco, which will turn on its draw cards ability. And then I think we're going to go at the threat. Airball will attack you for 6. It does have trample.
Yep, nothing I can do about that. I'll take 6.
Great. When it hits you, I will draw 2 cards.
I don't think I'm the threat.
Well,
I think I'm the answer.
I think you're both the threat, and the problem is
Yay.
the answer also kills us.
Yeah.
I did draw a card I can play, so I'll tap this forest and throw a Wild Growth on it. It now taps for an additional green mana. And then I'm going to go to my end step. I will get to draw a card from the Owlbear Shepherd because I have 8 power in play. That's what green does. This no longer is a creature because it's NerdGirl's turn.
You've drawn more cards than I have.
I did draw a handful there.
By a lot.
I was out of cards for a second. Now I have 3 cards.
I'm gonna start by casting a Priest of the Ancient Lore, a 2/1 dwarf specifically. That says when it comes into play, I get to gain a life and draw a card. I will play a Plains for turn. I'm gonna trust that Airball's not going to attack me because I think we agree that Beezy's the problem. So I'm going to attack with both the Miner and DePaula, and when she becomes tapped, I will pay 2 to look at the top 2 cards of my library, and I will get an energy, 2 energy on attack. Both my creatures coming at you, Beezy. I'm gonna look at the top 2.
Bangers?
Only one of them's a thing. I'll reveal this vehicle, and the other one will go to the bottom.
So I'll throw a Chumpies on the Miner, and I'll try to deblock DePaula with this 1/4.
All right, that will resolve,
RIP Rejuvenator. You did a good job. You got the Mobilized District out. Proud of you.
and I'll pass turn.
I will pay 5, and I'm going to play Feywild Caretaker. When it ETBs, I'm going to take the initiative, but because it's Panharmonicon, I'm going to do it twice. At the beginning of my end step, if I have the initiative, I create a 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature token with flying. The first room, since I'm going to do this twice, is I'm going to go find a basic land card and put it into my hand and then shuffle. I'm going to reveal this forest that I got from the first room, and the second room, I'm going to go to the Lost Well, and I'm going to scry 2. And I am going to move to end step, and I'm going to make a 1/1 fairy dragon. Thank you. And it's going to be very cute. Pass.
Well, let's play this island as my land for turn. And we'll pay for a Whirler Rogue.
Nice.
Enters the battlefield to make 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifacts, and I can tap 2 artifacts I control to make something unblockable. My own or otherwise.
So seeing Airball's Whirler Rogue actually makes me really nervous because I'm hoping that nobody realizes that tapping 2 artifacts to make my Tree Shaker Chimera unblockable actually nullifies the must be blocked by everything clause, and I really need to wipe somebody's board and trade off with the Chimera so I can draw cards.
Okay, well, then I'm going to tap both of the Thopters and I'll give Gearson unblockable. And we'll go to combat and we'll come in with just Gearson for 3.
I'm gonna get Killer Morphed. I'm gonna take 3.
And post-combat, I will take 1 more from this Fiery Islet of Death and play a Young Beezy. It's basically third path Iconoclast, but it makes red elemental tokens instead of the colorless artifact creature tokens. And we'll pass the turn.
I'll add another forest to my collection. Okay, so Mia, if I hit you, I get the initiative. And if you keep the initiative to your upkeep, you get to venture further into the dungeon. Is there maybe an agreement to be reached where I hit you for not a lot?
1.
I was thinking 1, maybe 2.
I was thinking 1.
Maybe 2.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that or 7, you know? It's really where I'm at. I will tap Glanra for a green, and I'm going to use it to cast a Primeval Protector. This is normally 11 mana, but it costs 1 less for each creature my opponents control. And when it enters the battlefield, I'm going to put a counter on each other creature I control. I will also draw a card because that spell costs 100, and then I will put some counters on. I will tap for 2 green, and I will play a severely reduced Galta from my command zone. It is normally 12 mana, but it costs X less to cast, or X is the total power of my creatures, which is so many, and it is just a 12/12 with trample. All right, I may be playing a little out of order, but it's okay, because Green Stompy is fun. I'm going to play a Fierce Empath, which says, when it enters, I can search my deck for a creature that costs 6 or more and put it into my hand. All right, so I'm going to reveal Primordial Sage, put that into my hand. I'll nestle it away for later. I'm going to try to get punchy with it. We're going to be sending some damage around. I'm going to crew my Servant with Galta and the Fierce Empath, so it has the Draw Cards ability. And then I will go to combat, and I think we're going to mix and match here. Mia, I will send 2 at you. Airball, I will send the Chimera at you. And NerdGirl, I'm going to send the Mighty Servant at you.
Chimera doesn't trample?
Chimera does not trample, but it does require a hefty amount of blocks.
Oh, I have to block.
All
everything.
I realized too late that Beezy's Chimera was actually going to wipe my board by forcing me to block. But I'm going to blame Beezy for covering the text of his card with a dice rather than covering the artwork like any sane person would. But as is, my hand is forced, so if there's no effects, I'm going to throw both elementals, Young Peasy, the Whirler Rogue, Iconoclast, and the Flame Breather in front of the Chimera.
No blocks on my end.
I will actually spend 2 energy to bounce the Miner. I will flicker it. It will come back into play
Stupid Miner.
untapped. And then I will present double blocks for 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, so you've thrown 4 toughness in front. So they will all die, but they will trample 2.
Yes.
I will take 2.
All right, so I'm going to draw 2 cards from the Mighty Servant, and then I will venture into the Undercity. The Tree Shaker Chimera is going to die, and I will draw 3 additional cards.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go in the first room because I have no choice, and I will get a Forest because there's no other basics in my deck. And you know what? We're drawing cards already, so let's draw some more, I guess. Put up another blocker as well. We'll play a Voice of Many. I love this card on a budget. 4 mana, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each opponent that you have more creatures than. So I'm going to draw 3. All right, I think I have enough cards. I'll go to end step and actually get an additional card from the Owlbear Shepherd, and then I will be discarding a decent amount. I'll discard 3 lands. We'll discard an Emergent Sequence, and I will discard my boy, Elvish Visionary. Sorry, buddy. Go ahead, NerdGirl.
All right, my first play is going to be Savine's Reclamation. I can return a permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less from my graveyard to the battlefield. It also has flashback. I'm going to go ahead and target the Priest of Ancient Lore again, because I would very much like to draw answers. And I will gain a life. I'm going to go ahead and pay 1 for a Soul Ring.
Well, that's broken.
Right on time.
Yeah, didn't have it. And then I will pay 3 for a Glint Sleeve Artisan. Has Fabricate 1, and it's a 2/2 dwarf. I'm going to choose to make the 1/1 colorless servo because I think I need big chumpies. I'll pass.
I'm going to move to combat. I'm going to hit Beezy for 1.
I'm going to block with nothing and take 1.
Okay. I'm going to go back into the Undercity. And I am going to create a treasure token. I'm going to tap 3, 6, and I'll sack this for 7. Necromantic Selection. I'm going to destroy all creatures, then return a creature card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under my control. Black Zombie in addition to its other types, and I'll exile this. This is going to get exiled. Everything else is going to get destroyed. And Feywild is going to come back. I am going to create a 4/1 skeleton creature token with Menace. And I am also going to finish the dungeon. I'm going to reveal the top 10 of my library. I put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield, and it's going to 3 +1/+1 counters, and it also has hexproof.
Let's reveal them.
Elvish Rejuvenator, Wood Elves, Massacre Girl, that's it. Nah, I'll take Wood Elves. Wood Elves isn't the big bomb of a hit that I was looking for when I did my dungeon clearing, but it's not bad considering I can get 2 forests off of it and it's a 4/4. With Wood Elves, I'm going to reveal these Haunted Mire and Tangled Islet, and they're going to come onto the battlefield tapped. At the beginning of the end step, since I still have the initiative, I am going to make a Fairy Dragon and send it.
Yeah, we got sent for sure.
She's the threat now, right?
Yes.
I'll help as soon as I draw an instant or sorcery. But in the meantime, I'll play this island as my land for turn and pay 6 for the Lesser Mizzet. Niv Mizzet the Firemind. 4/4 flyer, whenever I draw a card, it pings to deal 1 damage to a creature or player, and I can tap it to draw a card. And that's the turn.
Play a forest. I will tap 2, 4, and 6 to play this Primordial Sage. This is a 6 mana 4/5. Whenever I cast a creature spell, I can draw a card if I want to. I do want to draw a card, so I'm going to play 2 more mana for a Canker Bloom. This says I can pay 1 and sacrifice it to destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment, or proliferate. But I'm just going to draw a card for now. I got that held up at instant speed.
Kill the Panharmonicon.
So I'm going to at least pass to NerdGirl.
Okay. I'm going to pay 4 for Iron Tread Crusher, a vanilla 6/6 vehicle that crews for 3. And then 3 more mana. The Imperial Recovery Unit, a 3/4 vehicle that crews for 2, that says whenever it attacks, I get to return target creature or vehicle with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to my hand. And now I am ready to be attacked with all of your mights. I'll pass the turn.
I'm gonna go find a basic. I'm gonna reveal this forest and bring it to hand, and I'm gonna play it for a turn. I am going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm gonna play Yarok.
You're a pretty cool dude.
Yep.
Yarok is a 3/5 with Death Touch and Lifelink, and if permanents entering the battlefield cause a triggered ability of a permanent I control to trigger, it triggers an additional time.
Didn't you already read that exact text box this game?
And I'm going to pay 4, and I'm going to play Ravenous Chupacabra.
Oh boy, I sure will respond to that. I'm going to sacrifice Canker Bloom to nuke the Panharmonicon.
Sure. This is going to trigger twice, and when it enters the battlefield, I destroy a target creature an opponent controls. It's
I'm not going to ask which
1 and
ones.
2.
1
Yep.
and 2. I have no creatures. Let's go.
And then I'm going to move to combat. So these can't attack, but all of these can. And I'm going to send all of it at Beezy.
I'm going to take 12.
And then I am going to pass my turn.
All right, we'll play this Wandering Fumarole, tapped as my land for turn. I can animate it, and it becomes a 1/4 creature that does stuff. And we'll also pay 5 and bring back Garrison. And I'll pass.
All right, let's untap the lands, draw the card, play the forest. All right, I'm going to tap 2 mana here, and I'm going to play Occame Adversary. It's a 4 mana 2/3, but the theme of this deck apparently is creatures costing less. This costs 2 less if my opponent controls a green permanent. Right there. And when it hits a player, I draw a card. I'm going to pay 2 mana, and I'm going to throw down some Swiftfoot Boots. I'm going to pay an additional mana. I think I'm going to equip this, because I don't know if Mia's going to block. So I'm going to send 2 Death Touch at you, Mia. 2/3 Death Touch.
I will take 2.
All right, I'm going to go to my second room in the dungeon. I'm going to go ahead and scry 2. I'll go 1 top and 1 bottom there. Tap 3 more mana. I'm going to play Thrashing Brontodon. Remember Canker Bloom? This is, I can pay 1 and sacrifice it to destroy an artifact or enchantment.
Don't look over here.
It is a 3/4. Follow up to that, Mouth, one of the best spells ever printed. I get a 3/3 Hippo token. All right, here's my Hippo who does give out free hugs. It is a 3/3, and that's it for me. Go ahead.
Mia is blazing through that dungeon over and over again and getting a ton of value. I need to get in on this. Beezy, will you let me hit this time?
For 3?
Yeah.
If you can, like, somehow demonstrate that you can do something bad to Mia, then I would happily take 3 damage.
She can find a land.
That is actually what I really want to find. I don't have a land.
Oh, if you're excited about a land and you needed to do stuff in, like, the second main phase?
Oh, you know what? I don't really need permission to hit, actually. I'm gonna play the Aeronaut Admiral. He's a 3/1 human pilot with flying, and he gives my other vehicles I control flying as well. I'm also going to pay 2 for the new Magda, the Horde Master. She happens to also be a dwarf that says whenever I commit a crime, I get to get a tapped treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. And I can also sacrifice 3 treasure tokens to make a 4/4 dragon that is flying and haste. I will indeed crew for 3 and for 2. And I'm going to attack using the Crusher, 6/6 flyer to Mia, and the Recruiter to Beezy, a 3/4 flyer. And when it attacks, I get to return a 2 CMC or less creature from my graveyard to my hand, and I will get the Miner.
No blocks.
I'm gonna let this mosey on right on through. I mean, it's flying anyway, so you get to go to the initiative dungeon thing.
Dungeon! Let's go!
Imagine thinking that like you have a choice.
Secret dungeon. Secret dungeon. I'm gonna get this mountain. And I will go ahead and use my final 2 mana to just recast that Miner. This Miner is doing some big work. I'm able to flicker it with its own ability to prevent lifelink. I can keep getting it back with Reclamation and Recovery Unit. All in all, this card has been really impressive. And I will pass the turn.
Temple of Mystery coming in tapped. I'm going to scry 1 twice.
Now that's value.
I'm going to move to combat. That's fine. I'm going to send all of this at NerdGirl. It's going to be 2, 6, 10, 11.
I will go ahead and I'm gonna block the 4 powered creature, and I'm just gonna use 2 energy after blocks to flicker it and bounce it back to the board, and I'll take 4, 5, 6, 7.
This whole video is a paid advertisement for the Miner.
I am going to take the Undercity. I am going to go into the dungeon again. Let's see. I am going to put 2 +1/+1 counters onto Yarok.
Miner's OP.
It's so good.
I'm gonna pay 5 and I'm gonna play Underdark Explorer. I'm gonna take the initiative again, twice. Yeah, I'm gonna have you lose 5, NerdGirl.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And I am also going to probably draw a card. Sounds about right. And I'm gonna pay 4, and I'm gonna do Passageway Seer and do 2 again.
Never gets old. Haven't you been here already? You know the place. You
Once
know
or
the lay of the
twice.
land.
So I'm gonna look at the top 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm gonna snap down Thassa. She's gonna get 3 +1/+1 counters and be hexproof. And Thassa is a 6/5 indestructible enchantment creature. She is a creature now, and at the beginning of my end step, I can exile up to 1 target creature I control, then return it to the battlefield under my control. So I get a free flicker. So I am going to go back into the dungeon and find a land, and I'm going to reveal this island as the land that I found. I think I'm just going to move to end step. And I have a couple triggers. I have a Feywild Caretaker trigger, a Thassa trigger, and a Passageway Seer trigger.
Someone help.
So I'm going to make another Fairy Dragon because I have the initiative. I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter onto Passageway Seer. I'm going to flicker Ravage Chupacabra, and I'm going to get rid of the thing that gives vehicles flying, and I'm going to get rid of the 3/3 hit. Actually, the Thrashing Brontodon.
Brontodon down.
And after that, I think I will pass.
Goodbye, Admiral.
On your end step, I'll crack the Fiery Islet and draw a card. I'm going to play this island as my land for turn. And I'll pay 3 for an Unruly Catapult. It's an 0/4 defender, tapped to deal 1 damage to each opponent. And whenever I cast an instant or sorcery, which is coming any day now, I will untap it. And I'll pass.
I'm going to play a land,
Killer.
and I'm going to tap 6, and I'm going to play Duplicant. Duplicant is a 2/4 that exiles a creature when it enters. And as long as the card is exiled with it, it has that power and toughness of the creature. So I can get rid of any one creature kind of permanently with exile, so Mia can't reanimate it or anything. It seems like we want to do Yarok, so I will target Yarok with it.
Sure thing.
However, Yarok is going back to the command zone, so Duplicant is just going to be a 2/4. All right, I'll just hit Mia.
A 2/3?
Let the record show that I resisted your dungeon nonsense.
I'll take 2.
We did it. I'm going to draw a card. Best,
So you best of both, yeah, best
the
of
best
both
possible
worlds.
outcome, gang.
And you venture, right?
I do get the initiative. I get probably something cool, right?
A treasure or a goad?
A treasure or a goad.
You're welcome.
NerdGirl, Galaxy Brain. I think I'm gonna just goad the Wood Elves. There's not a lot of great choices, but that seems like your combination of like biggest and most useless creature that you might want to leave up for blocks.
Okay, I will note it as goaded.
I will also tap 5 mana, so I drew a spell I could cast, and I think everybody's pretty tapped out, so I'm gonna go for a Soul's Majesty. I'm gonna try to draw cards equal to the power of target creature I control, and I'm gonna target this hippo.
To disrespect, everyone's tapped out. 5 open mana from the blue player.
Look, everyone's
Don't you just want to kill Beezy now that?
I kind of do.
Tell you what.
Especially since I've done nothing to you, Airball.
Tell you what. Here's 3 cards in my hand.
That was some disrespect.
Just gonna go ahead and draw them.
Who has hurt you more this game?
I'm gonna just equip onto the duplicate so Mia cannot infinitely remove my blockers, even though she might do it anyway. And now it will have hexproof, and I'll pass to NerdGirl.
We're gonna try to put in some damage.
Please do.
I'm gonna try. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pay 5. I'm going to recast my commander. So now all of my dwarves and vehicles get +1/+1. I'm gonna get walloped for 1,000,000. I'm gonna go ahead and use the commander to crew the crusher and the Magda to crew the recovery unit. And we're going to try to put in a dent and make swinging out at me tough. So we're gonna come in all 3, the miner and both vehicles, to Mia. And I will get 2 additional energy from the miner.
I am going to chump block here. I am going to block all this stuff. I'm going to block Passageway Seer onto this miner.
I'm good to let damage go. You'll take 4 and gain 3.
So I will take 1.
And we will trade here and I'll eat your dragon.
Yes.
Cool. Pass the turn.
I'm going to move to combat. I'm going to swing this at Beezy and I'm going to swing the rest at NerdGirl.
Whew. No blocks. Okay.
All right, I'm also not gonna block, obviously, so I'm gonna go down to 20.
I will take the initiative.
-18.
And I am going to, I don't know, Sky 2? I'm going to move to end step. I'm going to flicker the tube.
In response to the
Yes.
target on the tube,
Aha.
I'm going to touch your stuff and commit a crime. I'm going to cast a generous gift. I'm going to destroy your Choop and give you an Oliphant.
I'm going to counter that with Arcane Denial. I'm going to counter it, and you can draw 2 at the beginning of the next upkeep, and I draw 1.
I can't do anything about that.
So
I did commit a crime, though, so I will get a tapped treasure token.
Chupacabra is going to flicker back, and I guess I'll hit your commander. It seems like
She
seems
is
about right.
sad.
She will be missed.
And I am also going to get a Fairy Dragon because I have the initiative. Pass.
End step will scry 2 with Castle Vantris.
Here we go.
Bottom.
Oh, gosh.
Upkeep. Triggers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you.
I get two draws.
I get 1 draw.
Sure. Well, it does something. So we're going to start by tapping Unruly Catapult, and everyone will take 3.
Please don't kill me this turn.
Ouchie!
I can't promise that. We're going to play Expressive Iteration. It's a sorcery. I get to look at the top 3 cards in my library. 1 goes into my hand, 1 goes into exile, and I can play it, and 1 goes to the bottom of my library. Before that resolves, Unruly Catapult is going to untap. I'm going to exile this Gutter Snipe.
Oh.
Don't kill me, no!
I don't think I can, unfortunately.
Unfortunately!
We're going to pay 3, and we're going to play Gutter Ball. Pass.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see. I can do some cool things. I do want to play at least 1 really cool spell in this deck, so I'm going to tap 4 mana, and I'm going to play Tangleweave Armor. This is a 4 mana equipment with living weapons. So I'm going to get a germ that will auto-attach to this, and the equipped creature gets +X/+X, where X is the greatest mana value among my commanders. But it does equip for 4, which is a little pricey. But I get the germ, so the germ will be a 12/12 since Galta has mana value of 12. That's really cute. I'm going to follow that up with a tricky little equip. I'm going to attempt to pay 1 to equip Swiftfoot Boots to this germ.
Sorry. I'll pay 4 using Thassa's ability to tap your germ.
Okay, so the tap will resolve, as will the equip. I'm going to use 2 mana And we're going to play my commander. Since it is heavily reduced, Galta, the 12/12 is back.
I hate how easily Beezy's board comes back. Galta just gets reduced by so much, and it has trample, and sometimes it has Swiftfoot boots. That's hard to interact with.
I'm going to be tricky again then, and I will try to tap Mia out of mana. I will try to equip the boots now to Galta.
I will respond and tap Galta.
Okay, Galta will be tapped as well, and it will get a little bit of hexproof. Okay, before I go to combat here, I'm going to fire off a 5-mana spell. It's going to be Shamanic Revelation. So I draw a card for each creature I control, which is 5, and then for each creature with 4 or more power, I gain 4 life, which will be 8. So I'll gain 8.
Pretty brutal.
I need the 8 to help with the catapult. So
Yeah.
I'll have 5. All right, so now I'm going to go to combat, and Mia, I'm going to attack you with everything that's left, which is a 2/4, a 2/3, and a 3/3.
I'll block the hippo with a 1/1
Okay,
and take 4.
sure thing. A couple things will happen. When I hit you, I'll get to draw a card from the adversary.
Airball needs me to live to kill Beezy. That's the plan.
That doesn't seem unreasonable.
So I'm gonna play a Plains for turn. I'll pay 5 mana, and I'm going to flash back the Savine's Reclamation. And I'm gonna get my commander, which I put into my graveyard the last time it died. And I will also get the Priest of Ancient Lore, which will draw me a card and gain me a life and put me out of 2-hit range. Does it
Possibly.
resolve?
Yeah.
Great. I'll draw a card.
I love the doubling of Savine's Reclamation if you flashback it. It's pretty nice.
So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna crew up both the vehicles. And then I'm gonna come across for 4, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage here. Everything is +1/+1 from my commander. And then I will get Imperial Recruiter trigger, and I will get my miner back.
Woo!
They can never leave.
Going to chump here, I guess, and take the rest.
All right, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. And then I will pay 5 to end Mia's misery by casting a Knight Paladin, a 6/6 vehicle with trample that says when it enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to each opponent with crew 1.
I am dead.
All right, we're taking 4.
On NerdGirl's end step, we're gonna tap the catapult, and everyone will take 3.
Okay.
That kills me though.
I don't think he's upset.
Okay, go.
I have to try to end the game now, or I'm dead. So we're gonna cast Opt.
So we take 2 from the
2 from
side.
Gutter Ball, untap Catapult,
Mhm.
and let's resolve Opt. And then before I untap, 3 more to the team. Sorry, Nerd Girl.
Ouchie!
I've secured silver, at least so far. I mean, if I untap, obviously I'm feeling great, but I might not.
All right, Beezy, another 3 if you please.
Absolutely.
If you pleasey.
You just need what, 2 instants?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
seems
we're
about right.
likely to get there, I think, because I'm going to cast a big score,
Oh my god, no!
Okay.
and I'll pitch Cavalcade of Calamity
Sure, so I'm
as the cost.
Taking 2 from that Gutter Snipe.
Yep. So it's going to untap the Catapult. We're going to get 2 treasures, and I'm going to draw 2 cards.
Oh no!
Don't do it. Don't Kellermorph me.
Hold!
I'm going to hurt you. We're going to tap that for 3 more damage,
Down to 5.
and we're going to pay 3 for Indulge to Excess.
No!
Whenever a creature I control attacks this turn, make a 1/1 green and white citizen token that's also tapped and attacking. But the relevant thing is you're going to take 2 from Gutter Snipe, untap the Catapult, and then I'll tap it again to deal 3.
I mean, even without that, I was probably dead to the actual spell itself, so I'm super dead. GG's. Answers to the Panharmonicon? No? No takers?
Man, you didn't even get a pity laugh. We all
I
hate it.
got a sigh. I think there's like a baby in the back in the distance.
Distilled exasperation.
Yeah, like, you know, like when there's a silent audience and you just hear like, someone just cough.
Yeah, which is worse than just being silent.
That's my Twitch stream.
Yeah.
Removal is really important, and all of my removal is stapled on creatures. So Flickering Ravenous Chupacabra really helped me clear a lot of the board and just a lot of things that could have stood in my way.
Special thank you to today's episode sponsor, the Reign of the Onyx King Kickstarter.
This is a Magic meets D&D multiplayer card game slugfest where you have customizable characters that you can level up, and it's a great time.
So make sure you use the link in the description to back this Kickstarter and support the show.
I would like to see the Nitpicking Nerds on Lingo.
Beezy, like, is
How
it?
much shit talking is allowed on Lingo?
Well, you get 5 letters at a time, so.
Well,
Thank you for ruining that moment for the show.
Yeah, jeez. I was proud of the deck this game. My deck really popped off. I drew like a bajillion cards. I made tons of power. I got to play Galta multiple times. Pretty much every trick I wanted to do with this deck happened. I did lose, but I got a lot of moves, even if I did miss 4 life with a Shamanic Revelation.
One of the easiest ways to support the show without really changing anything for anyone is by getting any of your Magic card singles from Tales of Adventure. They have an incredible selection of both your most basic versions of the cards all the way up to the most premium versions.
I also hear they have excellent jingles. So if you guys would like to support us, make sure you guys head on over to Tales of Adventure or TOA. You can find a link and a discount code for 5% off down below in the description. Beezy and Mia from the Nitpicking Nerds for a very special, I say that every time, it's not very special.
On a very special episode of Decked Out.
Overall, I'm pretty happy with how my deck performed. Depala was a pretty cheap deck to build. In fact, I think I came in $10 under budget because dwarves and draft vehicles are really not that expensive. So for a $35, $40 deck, I'm extremely happy with how this performed and I'm excited to play it again.
Moxfield is the best deck list site available. It has everything you need to customize, compare, and collaborate. View and brew the way that works for you. Moxfield is the only way that we can track and share all of our spiciest builds here on the show, and whatever Veggie is playing. Make sure to follow our Moxfield profile in the link in the description. Welcome back to a very special episode of Decked Out.
This is the kind of game that just fell into my lap. I overextended into an early board wipe, and that was actually kind of a mixed blessing because it made me look like not a threat. Everyone else whittled each other's life totals down, and I was able to clean up in the aftermath.
Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG accessories. We love their stuff, and we know you will too. In fact, every single playmat, sleeve, or deck box featured on this show is an Ultimate Guard product. So make sure to use the link in the description to support our channel and treat yourself to some amazing upgrades.
Is there maybe an agreement to be reached where I hit you for not a lot?
1.
I was thinking 1, maybe 2.
I was thinking 1.
Maybe 2. I don't think I can do 1.
Why not? 1 4.
It's not going to be a 1-1. You know, it's not going to be a 1-4. It might have an extra, a counter on it, perhaps.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that or 7. You know, it's really where I'm at.
Special thank you to our patrons. Without your support, this show would not be possible.
Yeah, specifically due to patrons like you, Frank, we are able to keep this show weekly. So thank you so much for that.
Make sure you head on over to our Patreon where you can become a part of the show, unlock exclusive perks, some signed tokens, spell table games with us, even get your decks featured here on the show.
And as always, Francis, you can support the show by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That's all we've got for you for today. We'll see you next time on
Decked Out.